Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Lunar Nation. My name is Arrow. We got Sagun, and we got Frans, who is unfortunately, I think he's a ghost character. But either way, thanks for joining our new episode. In this new episode, we are showing a little bit of more of an animation. Hope you guys enjoy what we're gonna talk about. And in today's episode, we're gonna talk about luck. And does luck play a huge part in you gaining success? And more importantly, is hard work a part of that luck or not? So, Franz, take it away.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, I hope everyone's been having a great week. It's good to try something new. I see you guys have some very nice animated backgrounds and faces. Unfortunately for me, due to technical difficulties, I have to stray away from that path. But I guess
In
I
the
wasn't
office.
as yeah, I guess I wasn't as lucky as you guys. So, um, as Arrow mentioned, we're gonna be talking about luck, and you know, does anyone believe in that, or is it just a concept that people made up just to, things were by coincidence or whatnot? So, it's funny because I believe it's not. I think people in Western society believe in luck more than people in Eastern cultures, but I feel like
Yeah,
that's because just people, here in America per se, what's that saying? You create your own luck, right? I mean,
exactly.
depending
Yeah.
on your work and hustle, basically. So, the, I mean, if you look at it this way, if you work hard towards something, you're gonna achieve a goal. I mean, depending on how hard you work and how well organized you are and productive. But if you were to keep on the right path and whatnot, you're gonna have good outcomes. And sometimes people might base it on luck, but is it really luck to be honest, or is it just your hard work that's persevering and getting you
I
these
think
great outcomes?
I think you create your own luck. Because personally it's like otherwise how would you have those chances to come within to in the first place, right? If you don't open, let's say I'm gonna give like an example. If you don't open that door, right? How are you gonna know what's inside that door, right? You're not gonna just be like hoping, like praying and saying like, oh, hopefully that door opens one day and for me to just step in without you even trying, right? So I just
Yeah,
think that
but
it's based
but
off
you
your
got you got for that door to be open, you got to open it. It's not like it's gonna magically open by itself,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Which is your hard work, right? That's your hard
Exactly.
work going into place. But the luck factor is what I guess what you were saying with people in Eastern society, Eastern regions, what they probably believe is that they just think that there's like some kind of destiny. That's what I
Mm.
think. It's like they think that
Everything's like
it's meant to be.
predetermined.
Yeah, everything's predetermined. You were born with a certain event that's gonna happen. So imagine like a Hollywood movie, right? You were
Right.
basically born with this beginning, middle, and end. And basically, you have everything written for you, like who you're gonna marry, like what kind of car you're gonna get, like what kind of career path you're gonna have, like the sequence of events, right? That's kind of like I would say, old school, like Eastern kind of thinking. But the Western society, like you said, right? You know how people like there's a lot of people, around. They're like, you know what? I don't really believe. Like people say, like I don't believe. Just like just waiting around, not doing anything. You got to be tough, and you got to go ahead and do something about it, right? Because one day or another, you're gonna have something go for you, right? Like with your luck. So that's what I think.
So you're saying, okay, yeah, no, listen, the luck, I think has maybe depending on what you're doing, right? So if you're trying to be number one in your class, I don't think that's luck. It's more of like hard work. But if you're competing against a lot of people that are perhaps just as smart as you, then you need that little bit of luck to give you that little push.
Yeah,
Um, but what I think most people need to understand is it's not that, oh, they got unlucky and they didn't get the job. It could be perhaps on their performance, right? So if you're coming in with like a aggressive attitude, you have like that mindset where you're like I'm success driven,
yeah,
and you have all this portfolio to back up your basically your strengths and what you've done and where you stand, then you have a better chance of getting the position because you build that throughout, like you just worked on it hard. And I think what most people need to understand about it is don't just fully rely on luck, you know?
Oh,
Be,
100%. I mean, if you're
be
fully relying on it, you're
yeah,
gambling. That's what it is. It's pretty much a
Yeah,
gamble.
pretty much.
You gotta
yeah,
be what's that word? You gotta be like strategic with it per se. It's not something that
Exactly.
where you just like roll the dice on it. You gotta
mm,
implement stuff, and not to cut you off here, I'm gonna let you continue, but it's like you're not rolling the dice on anything, and it's a 50-50 chance it's gonna happen or not. Because basically, if you're rolling the dice, I guarantee you it's more of a 99.9% chance probability it's not going to happen. Everything are going to be against you. But I feel like if you have the right attitude, and there's actually an article where kind of scientists believe that luck is real, but it has to play in with your mentality and attitude. So having positive attitude, having good intuitions and like a good gut feeling and whatnot. There's like several other characteristics. If those come into play, then technically you're so on so lucky, or will have more of an outcome, lucky probability outcomes.
Yeah.
Throughout whatever event or scenarios you're going to have take place. So it's not something that you're going to roll the dice on. That
Exactly. Also, like, don't you guys remember like the times when people, they have like the 4-leaf clovers, or they have like, oh, if you walk under the ladder, you're gonna get 10 years of bad luck and stuff like that. I mean, you guys are exposed to that, right? So it just shows you like just the different people's beliefs, right? Some people believe that, doing something will give them, I guess good luck. Some people believe that if you avoid something, it'll give you bad luck.
Yeah, it looks like sometimes they attach like sometimes people attach luck or good omens towards like certain objects or whatnot. Like you mentioned, Sagun, if you walk down a ladder, you get like several years of bad luck or whatnot.
Yeah.
But people that have like a 4-leaf clover, because it's just more rare to come across, they associate it with that being good luck. And it could also be like a scenario like, I don't know, uh, you have a pen in school and then you took a test with that pen, you got a good grade, you might associate that pen with good luck, and the people
Exactly.
become like they become obsessed with it, and then now they start using that for other tests, for example. But really, they could be studying, and then that intuition that they have, like, oh, this pen is giving me good luck, and make me do better in exams. It could probably have some sort of an effect to that. I mean, who am I to say that's not true? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just an example. It might be a bad example, but you
No,
get the
no,
gist
no,
of it.
no, for sure, for sure.
I
It's
mean, when I was in school, especially high school, I figure like, oh, like I remember I bought this like mechanical pencil because I hate like sharpening pencils and whatnot. And I bought this mechanical pencil, like 0.7 millimeters, and I'd fill it up and it'd last me a while and whatnot. It was, had a good grip and whatnot, blah, blah. But I think I paid like $10 for it. But for some reason, I felt like I did very well on my assignments and tests with that mechanical pencil than when I did with just like regular pencil and whatnot. So I don't know if it was just my head playing tricks on me, or if it's some sort of luck, or I mean, I don't know. But from what I noticed, I did very well with that mechanical pencil. And again, that's why I brought up the analogy of school pencils, and people associate that with good luck and good omens.
yeah. Um, so here's my opinion on good omen. Um, if you guys remember on our podcast when we speak about who are you, to be more specific, like to understand yourself, you need to understand how your mind works, right? And your mind is basically is whatever you envision in your mind, that's what you create, because your mind is basically like a big farmland,
yeah,
and whatever seed you plant in your mind, it grows. Um, because the mind is like really, it's a crazy and spontaneous thing.
yeah,
But like, I think being organized, being like, being, I guess, asking the right questions. Well, more specifically, finding the right people, right? Because in life, when you're born, you're not surrounded sometimes by the right people, and if you want to change that atmosphere, you need to find those people.
yeah,
And then the first question I think most people need to understand is, what do you try and do? Like, what's your goal? What do you want to do? What do you like? if you want to be, let's say, a doctor, you need to be surrounded with doctors. You need to be
Oh
surrounded
yeah.
by nurses.
Yeah, you are who you surround yourself with, right? Like
Exactly,
you said,
exactly.
Masood. I think that's a
Yeah,
really good point that you bring
yeah.
because
So I wanna connect the thing. Like if you look at most of the basketball players, yes, they need luck to get into the selection process, but they don't need necessarily luck to play in basketball. They just need pure skills,
yeah.
and that
That
skills
is
requires
true. The
training.
height, right? The height, like you said.
Yeah, the
It-
coach,
yeah,
skills like the waking up, following a certain diet, practicing every day aggressively, and being able to, I guess, shoot your shots. But if you're purely like, if you look at Cristiano Ronaldo, the soccer player, he's got a lot of skills. I wouldn't necessarily say he was like lucky to end up in the FIFA. It was mostly about his skills that got him into it. And
also his it's basically his hard work ethics. I think no one really covers that about him is that he has that desire, right? To become the best that he can
hmm,
be, which goes to my point of what I was saying is that
hmm,
he wanted to create his own luck.
yeah,
If he didn't put
actually,
the hard work for it, right? He wouldn't
yeah,
be where he is right now. So
I
that's
have
my
a
opinion.
I have a really good one. So I know maybe if the audience listened to previous podcasts where I specifically talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger. So if I know a lot about his biography. So when he was like early on, he wasn't a big Hercules guy in the beginning. He was just a normal guy, just like me and you. So he came across a magazine by the name of Reg Park. Got like he fantasized. He's like, when he saw that magazine, he's like, I have to be that person behind the magazine. So that seed was already implanted in the mind. And then afterwards, he aggressively worked out. He went to the body gymnasium, met fellow contenders. So when you're in he surrounded himself with a diverse group of people who were same mindset, but they were all competing against each other for Mr. Olympia. And then when he accomplished his goals. His next vision was to go in the movie industry, right?
Yeah.
So in the movie industry, if you look at his like a quick autobiography, he didn't have an easy time getting in. Apparently,
No.
his accent was a barrier of entry, and what he didn't rely on luck. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna aggressively and passionately approach it because um the quote from Earl Nightingale says, "Success is the progressive realization of working for a worthy ideal." So luck, success, they're both combined. But if you work hard, I'm pretty sure luck will play a hand. But if you don't work hard, no matter what, maybe you might win the Mega Millions. And by the way, a lot of people that win the Mega Millions, they go bankrupt for some odd reason because maybe
Yeah.
they're not bred to have that much money.
Yeah.
So I think it's
It's
all
not.
about working hard and
Yeah,
aggressively passionate.
100%. I don't mean to cut you off. You're right. They're not bred because for the most part, what is that? I think it's like, is it 80% or maybe a little higher of lottery winners end up, going bankrupt or losing all their money within 7 years of them getting it, 5 to 7 years. So I know
Yeah,
it's a
exactly.
high statistic, but
Yeah.
it's not that like they're not bred, but you're maybe that's not the right term, or is the right term. So a person working a regular job, or for the most part, anyone that's won the lottery, they're just like a regular person working a regular
Exactly.
job. So when they come across these millions and millions of dollars, they don't really know what to do with them, and some of them are, people have a lot of desires. They want to splurge, they want to live lavish. And then you got, things that come into play like friends or family that ask for money, and by the time you know it, when you don't have a financial advisor or even a financial planner, or these set organizations or people to help you out managing your finances, you're going to be running through that money like it's nothing, because you have to realize, first of all, you might win, let's say $100 million, but you're not really getting 100 million. You're going to be paying, I think it's more than half, because if you take a lump sum, you're going to be paying a bunch of different taxes, and I believe more than half is taken for
Oh
taxes.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
let's just call it 50 million. By the time you buy yourself these cars, houses, vacations, watches, all these materialistic stuff. You hand out money to people, you're left with some money, and you have to realize when you buy a house, when you buy cars and whatnot, you got expenses, you got insurance, you got property taxes, you got gas you need to fill, you got maintenance, repairs, and whatnot. And by the time you know it, after several years, they've gone through their money and then I'm going bankrupt. So it's unfortunate. I know that people that do win like the smaller lotteries, a couple 100,000 to 1 million, are kind of better off because they're a little more content. Because if you win, like, let's say $500,000, you're more likely to still keep your day job, obviously,
Yeah.
than you are if you win like $500 million, like $600 million. And I think the current Mega Millions is what, at like 630?
$660 million.
Yeah,
Right
it's like
now.
the fifth highest right now on record. Is that correct,
It
Sagun?
actually said it was the ninth largest prize. So that's according to my research. It said the ninth largest prize. But I just want to kind of tie it. So do you guys believe that someone is destined to receive that, I guess that lottery? So this kind of ties with luck itself. Do you guys believe that this just buying this lottery ticket is just purely based on luck? So like one person could just buy that one lottery ticket and win everything, and then there's people who are persistently trying and buying like 20-30 lottery tickets, but they're not winning anything. Like, do you guys believe, like, how we were talking about hard work? There's not really that much hard work that goes into this, right? Because someone
No,
else could win.
that's gambling. And I mean, the person that buys 20-30 might win $1 or two, but they're
Yeah.
not doesn't it doesn't necessarily give their greater odds of winning 1 million. Um, here's the thing. I think what most people need to understand is luck is only valid and straight and good when you're actively and progressively working hard towards it. If you're gambling and playing luck with that, there's no magic trick, there's no guarantee. I mean, if you were winning constantly, there's definitely some kind of skill you got. Maybe you're counting the cards. Maybe you have this magnetic thing that you're playing with the roulette, something like that. But I don't think it's like you can be relying on luck. And then on your question about people being predestined, I think here's the thing. I think, in my opinion, um, in this dimension, let's say we have like multiple dimensions, like Albert Einstein says, there's multiple dimensions. Maybe in this dimension, yeah, they're predestined, but maybe another dimension, somebody else is predestined, because at the end of the day, it all takes a millisecond to change your outcome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your
yeah,
entire future.
for
Exactly.
sure, for sure. So as far as my thoughts on it, I I believe that these big lotteries are purely luck for the most part, because honestly, I think it even says when I see them on the billboards passing down, it says it's like small letters, like 1 in 320 or whatever million chances that you are gonna win this lottery. And
Oh
obviously,
yeah.
the bigger it gets, the more your odds are against you.
Yeah.
There was actually an article I read, I think it was like a year ago, where this math teacher, or professor, did use some sort of algorithm or arithmetic solution to come up with a lottery number, and they actually won 5 times. But they've won on like smaller lotteries, within like like municipal or like state, like like we're talking about like small lotteries that are like 100,000, 150,000, those small ones, because I think there's a lot less fewer people that play. I forgot the whole story how it was, but it was like less people that play, less numbers in perspective, because you have to realize, I think, but the lottery is like 7 numbers plus a special numbers, or 6 numbers plus a special number. So the more numbers there are, the greater there's a probability that there's different numbers out there. I think there's like trillions and trillions of different possibilities. So um, anyways, this math teacher or professor was able to guess a few different times while playing the lottery, and won on these different occasions, won at least 5 times. So I mean, again, it kind of connects to, they put in that hard work. Again, it is gambling, but they put in that hard work and it paid off for them 5 times. as far as these big ones, I mean, I think it's just pure speculation, just pure gamble. I mean, no matter if you honestly could be that one person that buys one ticket against someone that buys 10,000 tickets, and that person that bought that one ticket could win. So, I mean, I highly doubt that the more tickets you buy, I mean, maybe it does increase your chances a little bit, but I don't think by really that much. So, and
Yeah.
you got to be careful because you got to play smart. At the end of the day, you might get one or two for fun just to see how your odds are. But honestly, man, don't get into it like you're gonna be making like big money because at the end of the day, there's over 330 million people, in the United States, and the Mega Millions is what every so often. So the chances of you winning that is a lot, a lot, a lot. But you know what's funny actually, Sagun, didn't someone close to where you live actually
Yeah.
won the biggest
Yeah.
Mega Millions or whatever it was like a couple years
yeah,
ago?
I was gonna say that. So it was actual 1.05 billion. So this
Yeah,
was
it was in
actually,
the billions. Yeah,
yeah, it was in the billions. It was actually 10 minutes from my house near Kroger. And I can't believe it because I usually go to that Kroger a lot.
that's crazy. You
But
know what? I
I
would
don't
be
spend
like,
it, right? I don't spend it on lottery tickets because who thinks, right? Who thinks like, oh, I'm gonna win? So
yeah, yeah, for sure.
but
But
someone
again,
wanted,
that's
and
that's pure speculation. That's the
it's
the, the
pure
fact of
speculation, right? You don't take your chances because you think you're gonna waste your money, right?
yeah.
So at that time, someone won, and they disappeared. They didn't show up to work, and they made it $1.05 billion on, I think it was January.
Yeah,
So
I think it wasn't like 2 years ago
it
or
was
like a
2 years
year
ago.
ago. Yeah, that's
Yeah, it was.
crazy, man.
Yeah,
You know what's crazy? Something like that is just like, it's different when you hear it like in a different state or whatnot. But when you hear it, that literally hits so close to home. And for you, it was like 10 minutes. It was
it
probably like
was
a walk
10
to the
minutes from my
park.
house. It was 10 minutes
That's
from my house.
crazy. Like
It's actually,
I could
yeah,
just be thinking like, wow, like
yeah.
what if
It,
that was me
Yeah, it was actually 1 year ago. My bad. I said
one
two,
year
but it's
ago?
actually 1 year ago. So that's so fresh in the mind. So I can't believe it. I don't have any words to say. So
That's crazy.
Okay, okay. Yo, check this out, guys. So I want I want the audience to be like, what do I take out of this? What do I learn from this episode? And my thing, or what I want them to understand is, don't fully rely on luck, right? Luck, it's good. It's good to have. But I think having a habit, having a mentor, having someone that can help you along the way, a group of people like-minded set, like it's like the old saying: if you're surrounded with a bunch of bums, then you're a bum. um,
what a quote.
yeah, that's my quote. I'm not sure if it's my quote, but I haven't heard
We'll
it from
we'll
somebody
we'll
else.
we'll give it to Arrow for today.
Yeah.
Arrow's quote of the
So
day.
so so like let's say you want to be, I don't know, you want to be a millionaire, but then the question you have to ask yourself is how much money you want to have. What's a million? Millionaire is just a saying. So let's say I want to have 2 million. There's a number. $2 million. Now your mind's gonna be like, oh, okay, you know what? I'm short by, I don't know, 1.85. You have 150. Hypothetically, you save that 5, 6 years. You're still missing 1.85 till you reach your goal. So now you're gonna ask yourself, what do I do to reach this goal? And is the current trajectory that I'm doing right now at the moment, would it lead me there? And if the answer is simply no, then you have to re-strategize. How do we re-strategize is the question. So we create a habit, we follow mentors, whether we find the mentors in let's say in a speaker moment, or we go in a networking moment, or we go to seminars where we pay and we try to learn courseworks from these mentors. We try to aggressively work hard and not give up, then your chances might be higher. At the end of the day, it all depends on how you want to live your life. And luck, good, but more effort and hard work will give you more of that respect you deserve. So I don't know if you guys want to add anything to that.
Yeah, I think personally, it's like what I've been going on my motto for my whole life is you have to have hard work, because if you don't have hard work, right? Well, unless you're the Prince of Dubai, that's already, already well off, right? I mean, that thing, I believe there's some kind of luck into it, right? Because that guy, he was just born into it, right? I mean, he can't really like he was born into wealth. He didn't have to work for his wealth. His previous generations, probably had to, amass that wealth, right?
That
But he
would
already got
consider
it from
be
the
that
get-go.
he's lucky that he got born in that family then, huh?
Yeah, I guess luck in that perspective, right? Because
Right.
that it's like, well, what can you do, right? Like you're just born into a wealthy family. It's like if you're born into like, I don't know, like Walmart's family, right? Like, the person who said the Walton family. Like they're already rich, well off, right? They already have a well-established company. So of course you're gonna be living a good life, and you're gonna be having everything, right? I mean, you're gonna start off good, you're gonna have good education, everything. So I would say you could be that could be luck, because no matter how hard you work, doesn't mean you're gonna be as rich as them, right?
Right,
So
right,
I
Okay.
right.
think from that
But
perspective.
one thing, Franz, I want to add to the audience. I want to make sure the audience knows crystal clear. These are my suggestions. First, have a planner. Find a mentor. Create a schedule. Habit. Most importantly, don't sleep too. I mean, follow like a strict military guideline. Um, and aggressively pursue it, and keep a track where you're at, because it's always good to know where you're situated. Because at the
Right.
end of the day, if you were a ship and you're heading to, let's say, England, you need to know where in the destination you're located so far.
Right, right. You got that right. And I agree with your guys' opinion. You guys really hit it spot on. So basically, I mean, just to sum it up, and I don't want the audience to think that the luck is all about money, because honestly, I mean, I know we talk about money in this podcast in regards to luck, but I mean, luck could be as far as, luck in your education, in your personal life, relationships, family and whatnot. Luck, I mean, can be summarized for any certain type of scenario or event. But again, just to sum it up, I mean, I feel like a luck gets attracted into things such as maximizing opportunities, trying new things. Again, how I mentioned earlier, listen to your hunches. That gut feeling. When you expect good fortune, you're optimistic, and you're always thinking about the positive. And anytime you might have quote unquote bad luck or something that hasn't gone your way, don't dwell on it. Look at the bigger picture and move forward. So by you implementing all those steps, being productive and whatnot, I think you'll bring those good fortune and that good luck towards yourself, and see great things to come in the near future. So yeah, I mean, great episode, guys. I mean, if you guys, as far as the audience, if you liked it, be sure to comment, like, subscribe, rate our podcast. Let us know any other episodes or any topics that you'd like us to discuss for future episodes. And with that note, we'll end it off, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.